All right, soccer fans, welcome back inside the Ontario Soccer Center as we bring to you our final match of the day here with the under 16 boys district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2020.
Ontario Cup Finals with their visitors, Glenn Shields, U16. Wearing number 5, Alexander Lazaro. And number 6,
The MilkUP Ontario Cup, the provincial soccer championship for the LTBE Soccer for Life stream, is the largest club competition of its kind in Canada. As one of the oldest and most prestigious amateur sporting events in the country, the Ontario Cup was first staged in 1901 and has operated continuously since, with the exception of the World War II period and during the global pandemic in 2020. The MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022 marks the 106th year of the competition and celebrates the arrival of Dairy Farmers of Ontario, the marketing group representing Ontario dairy farmers and the largest sector of Ontario agriculture, as the newest title partner. The Ontario Cup has reclaimed its pre-pandemic glory in 2022 as the 106th edition of the Soccer for Life competition has played out safely across the province with thousands of participants. After an amazing summer of competition, the MilkUP Ontario Cup finals are now set. What began with nearly 500 teams has been whittled down to the last 28, with each vying for Ontario Cup glory over the first two September weekends. To add to the excitement of this storied competition, the MilkUP Ontario Cup champions in the U15, U17, and adult divisions will once again get to fly their provincial flag at the national championships in October after this event had to be canceled due to pandemic restrictions in 2021. Well, we're just moments away from kickoff here in the boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022, as it's Glen Shields Juventus preparing to take on Pickering FC. Pickering FC wearing the white kits, black numbering on the back, black shorts, white socks. And Glen Shields Juventus, the visiting team, wearing blue kits, white sleeves, white numbers on the back, white shorts, white socks.
Number 14, Keelan Andrews.
It's been a phenomenal day of action here from the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium field, and the sun setting, the heat has given way. It's cooled down, but it is comfortable here. A little bit of a breeze going left to right across the field, but nothing that should impact the run of play.
Wearing number 23, Kareem Babla.
And we should have ourselves a phenomenal match here in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022 to wrap up today's action. 4 great games on the schedule, and we finish off with 2 tomorrow.
And now introducing our match officials who were appointed for today's Ontario Cup final. Our referee, Mr. Ahmed Fani. Assistant referee, Mr. Edward Bozic. Assistant referee, Brian Rodriguez. And this evening's fourth official, Ben Cameron. And a special guest with us this evening representing Ontario Soccer is Mr. Alan Field, Director of the Competitions Committee.
Well, new this year, the Dairy Farmers of Ontario, representing Ontario's 3,400 dairy producers and their families, has joined Ontario Soccer as a premier partner and the exclusive title partner of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. With this collaboration with Ontario Soccer, it will bring positive outcomes to youth sports across the province. Keep your eyes on OntarioSoccer.net, where the deserving 2022 MilkUP future leaders will be announced soon. Well, we're going to send it pitch side as we step aside and ask you to please rise and remove your hats for a moment of silence in memory of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, followed by the playing of our national anthem.
Fans, at this point, we ask you, if you can, please rise and remove your hats for a moment of silence in memory of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, followed by the playing of our national anthem.
It's the boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup as we get you set for the opening kickoff here between Pickering FC and Glen Shields Juventus FC. The teams will track to their respective benches, get a last bit of strategy and advice from their coaches. The captains will stick with the match officials for the coin toss. And the proceedings pitch side will get underway in a few moments. It's a beautiful evening here at the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium. The sun is setting, a little bit of cloud cover, but very picturesque and a perfect evening for the beautiful game here at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Pickering FC in their all-white kits, black shorts, white socks, black numbering on their backs. They get prepared to take the pitch against Juventus, Glen Shields Juventus FC. Glen Shields already finding some success as a club at the MilkUP Ontario Cup this year, claiming at least one title. I have a feeling they picked one up on the Saturday as well. I'd have to double check, but they have become an annual contender here at the MilkUP Ontario Cup, and they'll try claim the championship here in the boys under 16 district final as they march out. Their starting keeper will be Ruben Pena as he prepares to take the pitch and take the position between the sticks for Glen Shields. They'll work left to right across your screen as we prepare to kick off. It's Panu getting the start in goal for Pickering, and they will kick us off as they work right to left across your monitor. And Pickering will defend the goal to our broadcast right. With Hub International Insurance Brokers presenting our broadcast, we have a partner today to support us as we prepare for tomorrow, and who will help us protect what matters most when we get there. Because the truth is, tomorrow is a gift, and Hub wants us to be ready for it. Find out more at hubinternational.com. Glen Shields Juventus trying to take quick possession here after creating an early turnover from the Pickering kickoff, and they'll send Kalatbari up to take the throw in. Artin Kalatbari in the opening minutes of action here in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. Tosses in for Bozic. He works tight to the goal line, but that one rolls out and it's a goal kick. Possession to Pickering. So a lot of jump early in that opening minute for Glen Shields as they try take possession after Pickering had the opening kickoff. They successfully did, but never could generate much more than that. Headed on now by Sathyendran, and then moments later he wins a free kick for Pickering. So let's see what they can do with the set piece. As stepping up to the ball is Cole Neild. Neild, left-footed cross into the penalty area, headed away by a couple of Glen Shields defenders, and now picked up by Lord Kipanzi as he plays it up the flank, but too far for Kalatbari to run onto. It was actually Hellman up there for Glen Shields, but either way, it's out for a Pickering throw-in.
Hey, Coley, ball, Coley, ball. Yeah.
Teams exchanging possession on a couple of knocks, and now the ball bounces its way into the center circle. Both teams battle for it. Pickering charge forward as on it is Gorjavovsky, but he can't clear himself through the traffic, and Ultimately, it's off of Neild and out for a Glen Shields throw-in. Good pace early. As Khaled Bari gets set to take the throw for Glen Shields Juventus FC. Flicked on by the head of Hellman. Shielded by Glen Shields. Nice work along the line by Bozic, and it's out for another Glen Shields throw. Good movement off the ball. A few options present as Calibari tosses in. It ricochets around and falls over to Pham, who tries to switch it. DiGiornimo in the vicinity, but a foul committed and a free kick to come as Lord Kipanidze there on the infraction. He gets a stern warning from the referee just 4 minutes in saying you can't do a mistimed tackle like that. Another one of those and you'll be cautioned. So already a warning there for Daniel Lord Kapanidze for Glen Shields. As they try to get possession back, headed away. Good job defensively by Pickering's Andrews. As the ball finds its way to Jake Toner, the center back for Pickering. He played that out wide. Andrews tried to flick it up the line, and it's off of a Glen Shields player out for a Pickering throw-in. From the throw, Glen Shields able to pick up advantage, and they bring it up the near sideline now on a good ball played forward, but unable to secure it was Bozic. Pickering cleared out. It's a Glen Shields throw, and good defensive work that time by the left back for Pickering and Neild. As it's secured by Trovato. He plays that out wide into the middle now for DiGiornimo. He can't get around the defender, and a free kick on the frustration as Lord Kipanzi in there as well. Pickering looked to take a quick free kick. It's headed clear and now scooped up by Pham as he did well to pick it out of midair. And now he starts to lead the attack for Glen Shields Juventus FC. They look to switch to the near side, intended for Bozic, but that got partially picked off. Now it's headed on to Bozic. He plays it back, and then it's through the air by way of Cerna. As they continue to chase, Bozic on it for Glen Shields, but it's off of him and out for a Pickering throw. Good defensive work by Parves. Cerna trying to fight his way through a couple of would-be tackles. There's a shot from outside the area, but blocked by a gutsy defensive effort by Jake Toner as he stepped in front of that shot from Michael DiGiornimo. And that started to look threatening in favor of Glen Shields, but quickly Pickering there for the defensive close down. Is now trying to take control as Vishwa Sathurdin, and they come away with it only to the point where Toner now tries to, that's Neild. He makes the play over to Ramlachan. Contested by Cerna, played on as Bozic takes possession now for Glen Shields, but runs out of real estate, and that's out for a Pickering throw-in. Neild controlled. He quickly gets it back from the throw after it's played by Gorjavosky, and now it's back to the keeper in Panu. Kovacsy picked up by Toner, played out wide, and they try draw back in. They'll go all the way back to the keeper Panu. As in the 7th minute of play, Pickering trying to work out from their own defensive third. Toner playing it out wide, trying to take the opportunity, but it was blocked by Lord Kipanity, and now it'll be corralled by Gorjavovsky. His attempt gets blocked. Cerna there for Glen Shields. Pham brings it down, tries to play forward for Bozic, but that's picked off. Good defensive work by Neild. Feeds it forward for Sathyendran as he controls left-footed ball. Running onto it now is Dahl Andrews. Dahl Andrews crosses, top of the penalty area, brought down. As coming up with it was Andrews. He made the extra pass. Andrews has it again as he had played it over to Babwa. pulled back. That shot attempt coming from Barry, but it was blocked cleanly. And the ball all the way down the pitch is running onto it was Hellman, but defensively Toner there to knock it out of play. So good pressure from Pickering, and then Glenn Shields wanting to spring a quick counter, but they have possession here from a throw-in and given away after they were unable to hold it. And now controlled along the far touchline by Maliotta. He tries to make the move around the man. Good return, and Pickering quickly come back with possession. As that's crossed out and played up for Dahl Andrews, he dishes it back, but Glenn Shields able to take it now with fun. Bozic. His pass comes right back to him by way of Cerna. His cross attempt gets blocked. Pham steps up but can't come away with it. And here's a counterattack chance as Gorjavovsky plays a long ball forward, and John Dahl Andrews won't be able to run onto that. Securely scooped up by Ruben Pena, the keeper for Glenn Shields. As they play it back to Groff. Touches it. Played forward to Bozic. Good control by Glenn Shields as they quickly transition up the field. But that last touch by Cerna offline and controlled now by Neal. Cerna gets ahead to it, and that's enough to drop it to Pham as he'll switch it to the far flank, and coming up with it in control is Lord Kapanzi as he tries to dribble his way through a few defenders, but then the ball knocked loose, quickly picked up by Cerna. He tries the shot, that gets blocked, and coming off his line is Yuvraj Panu to collect the loose change. Ball knocked out of play. It'll be possession to Pickering with a throw-in here in the 10th minute of the Boys Under 16 District Final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Pickering play it in from the throw, kneeled back as they maneuver it tight to the line. Good 1-2s here, and coming forward was Gorjavovsky, but he got fouled, and it'll be a free kick now for Pickering. So good possession tight to the touchline, and now one of their captains, Declan Kovacsy, stands over top the ball for the free kick. Strong delivery as that approaches the penalty area, but it's dealt with defensively. Given away on the clearance, and now it's Neld who comes up with it. He crosses that one in. It's headed on towards the back post. Pena had to be sure as he crashed into the sticks. The header coming by way of John Dahl Andrews, but ultimately wide for a goal kick. So good opportunity generated from that set piece cross played in by Kovacsy, and well, Glenn Shields have to be cautious defensively as they maneuver the ball through the defensive penalty area and now try transition through the midfield. And there's a toe-to-toe pass. Great ball as now DiGiornamo plays it on. Lord Kapanzi draws it back, crosses in. Good defensive header for the clearance as Cole Neal clears it out for the corner kick because Stephen Hellman was crashing in for the offensive chance, and now Glenn Shields earn themselves a corner. Michael DiGiornamo gets set to take the corner, setting up for an in-swinger from the far side. 5 Glenn Shields Juventus players piling across the top of the 18. Now they break for movement. The cross comes in, swinging at it with the left foot was Groff, but he didn't make solid contact. It does go right back to DiGiornamo. His second cross attempt gets blocked as well. Crashing in to hold possession, but dribbling it out was Trovato, and it's turned over as Pickering will have a throw-in inside their defensive third. But they sustain the pressure from the corner, and they hold the fort defensively and keep this right now all squared up. 0-0 here in the 12th minute of action. Glenn Shields coming up with possession and dribbling through before the ball being played out. Long ball right in on target, but Panu makes easy work of that long shot, which came off the foot of Groff. And now it's picked up by DiGiornamo. He plays that back. Trovato out wide as it's controlled. and pitched forward on that play from Ruahali. Ruahali tries to close down the ball carrier for Pickering in Babwa. Sliding in with the attempt was Andrews, and now Pickering clear the ball out across the half. Calabatri, he plays that one forward, and it'll be a chance for Lord Kapanidze to run on as he tries to step around the defender, but a third defensive support comes in the way of Ramlakan, and in the sequence, a foul committed and a free kick here for Pickering.
Yeah.
Pickering played short from the free kick as Andrews tries to move it ahead, controlled momentarily by Ramlakan. Knocked loose, and now they'll have to track back defensively as putting on the Jets is Neld to get there ahead of Bozic. Neld controls it, plays it back, man closing down his defensive support, so he plays it back to Neld, and now he finds Sathyendran up the line. Sathyendran's pass intercepted. DiGiornamo comes up with it. He tries to switch, but that's headed away defensively. DiGiornamo back in possession now for Glenn Shields. He dropped that one off for Ruho Ali as it goes up the line, and that'll track towards the goal line. It won't stay roll out of play. It'll be held in by Pickering as they work their way up the line here. Andrews receives the pass, quick 1-2. As they try to scoop it back to Andrews, he runs into a Glen Shields player, and that puts an end to it. But Andrews now comes in with a good challenge and forces Charlie Pham to go backwards to try work forwards. Pham receives the return pass as he springs a man on the line in Ruhol Ali as it's contested off of DiGiornamo and out for a Pickering throw-in. And a chance for us to remind you that Toronto FC is the official founding premier partner of Ontario Soccer, as well as the co-presenting partner of its Talented Pathway. Their commitment to the game in Ontario is unrivaled. Visit torontofc.com for tickets and more. Glenn Shields picking possession off on the clearance as Bozic plays it back. Pham has it after receiving the pass by Khaled Bari, and now they play it out to the far side, where playing that ball forward was Trovato, but it's out of touch, and it'll be a throw-in for Pickering and a chance for Pickering to make the first substitution of this match. As Carter White gets set to make his debut, and Vishwa Sithyendran will come out for the time being. Glen Shields Juventus will make a change as well as Bozic comes out and Jaden Sui comes into the match. I really hope he scores. If he does, you know I'm going to make a chop Sui call, but for the time being, it's knocked out of play as Pickering retake a throw. And some fans tight to the fence there have to be on their toes to make sure that they weren't taken out by that clearance. Pickering toss in as it's controlled by Gorjavovsky. He tries to poke it through, but that's intercepted. And then a infraction called against Pickering, so a free kick to come here for Glen Shields Juventus FC. 17th minute of action. We're scoreless here at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022 finals. It's the U16 boys district final, and a bit of a misheader there defensively. This could be a break for Glen Shields as Lord Kapanzi takes it, crosses goal bound, but Hellman unable to get a clean attempt. He does, however, win a corner kick for Glen Shields. So one of their captains, DiGiornamo, gets set to track over to the near side corner and take the impending set piece. As the wind picking up just a little bit pitch side. Again, blowing left to right, so towards the Pickering goal. as there seems to be a Pickering player down just beyond the penalty spot. And Pickering will go check out the injured player as the match official indicates a potential substitution. Manny White, Nick Chimone, Charlie Colella, the coaches for Pickering, Anthony Di Lorio, Marco Bonfiglio, Cristina Romanelli, and Riccardo Di Giornimo on the bench for Glen Shield Juventus FC. It looks like it's Kareem Babwa, the injured player for Pickering, so hopefully nothing serious there for Babwa. We wish him a speedy recovery. And Pickering will have to make the change and defend in corner kick. To do so, it looks like they'll bring on Farhab Parvez.
No. He can stay there.
As Parvez will come into the match here for Pickering. Let's give a big shout out to all our staff and volunteers behind the scenes. Ben Longo leading the communications behind the scenes. Big shout out to Ben Rycroft as well. Just saw your text. Good to hear from you, buddy. But a army of volunteers behind the scenes, including our technical crew. All right, here's a cross coming in as DiGiornimo plays the corner kick. It's knocked loose and quickly scooped up by Pickering as Neild plays it forward. Quickly, Glen Shields try bring it back into possession. Fem crosses back to DiGiornimo, who is tracking back from the corner. Dahl Andrews, he plays it on the overlap. Good pick out in Barry. And now Dahl Andrews gives him the option. Cheeky play with the back heel, and here goes Dahl Andrews. His cross too tight to the keeper, as coming off his line was Pena to secure that for Glen Shields. Left-footed drop kick as it takes one hop and then is headed clear by Neld. Nailed it. Now it's secured by Suey for Glen Shields, but his through ball immediately knocked down and now secured by Gorjavovsky. Glen Shields trying to wrestle possession back, and now they have it as DiGiornimo plays it ahead. There's a shot from range and an easy save for Panu as Lord Kipanidze let that one fly, and it would have to be something special from there to beat the keeper, Panu. Pickering keep it in along the touchline, and it's ricocheted off a Glen Shields player. Possession to Pickering. 21st minute of action. Barry tosses on, and it's controlled by Gorjavovsky as he tries to pick out a man. Charging forward was Carter White, and Carter White has earned a free kick as flying through the air with the defensive attempt was Trovato, and he draws the whistle. So a free kick now to come for Pickering. A trio of Pickering players standing over top the ball right now as they prepare for this set piece opportunity. Certainly within range for a direct attempt on target, but the possibility of a chip or a looping ball into the penalty area, a threat as well. Barry, Neld, both standing over top the ball. As Barry takes it, it ricochets off the wall and finds its way to Gorjavovsky. His attempt wide of the near post and out for a goal kick. So ultimately nothing doing for Pickering on that opportunity, as they can't quite generate from the set piece. Glen Shields Juventus FC playing it out from the goal kick. Controlled here by Khaled Bari. He tried to pick out Lord Kipanidze, but it was turned over and now controlled by Ramlachan. His ball picked off. Volleyed ahead there by Groff. Brought down, but a bit of a miscue on the defensive backline for Pickering. Recovery, though, nice play by Barry to clear the danger after he had the initial gaff. Barry ended up back in position and had the strong ball volley to clear it up the pitch. There's Barry once again defensively as he wins the throw in for Pickering. Takes it quickly to try catch Glenn Shields in transition. Very tightly contested match so far in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. And now Pickering try to spring an attack here as they play it out wide. Trying to make the move was Parvez, but it's then stripped away from him. And now Glenn Shields looking for a counter as that ball played forward, but Hellman unable to get to it as Toner there with the clearance. He didn't love the result as it's out for a Glenn Shields throw-in, but he did deal with the immediate danger of Hellman. Glenn Shields switched the attempt to anyways as it's picked off by Neld. And now he sends a left-footed ball forward, but two Glenn Shields defenders there to knock that free. Pham. He sends a good ball forward, and this is something to run onto for Lord Kipanidze, but getting there defensively first was Neld. He makes the initial play, but then loses it. Cross comes in on the threat as it's headed clear by the Pickering backline and then volleyed with power by Neld. As that ball hits the hands of the Pickering striker up front in Carter White, and it's turned over for a free kick. 24th minute of action. We're playing two 45-minute halves here in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. As Glenn Shields prepare to take the free kick. Khaled Bari standing over top the ball. They pile players into the 18, make the break. Headed on, and that one wide of goal as getting a touch there was Cerna for Glenn Shields, but he couldn't quite put it on target, and it'll be a goal kick for Pickering. So Panu gets set to take it. He plays it short. As Kovacsy laid it off. Controlled now by Dahl Andrews. He works the near touchline, sends the ball forward for White to try run onto. But Glenn Shields get there first, and now it's controlled by Kalapari. Pham plays it to the back line. Closed down, but stepping around the man was Trovato. And now they'll work it up the far flank as Ryan Ruhol Ali takes it forward. He makes the pass to DiGiornamo, but immediately stripped off his foot, and now Ramlukan plays a good ball ahead for Pickering. Nice slide tackle there as coming in with the effort was Groff, and he put an end to that threatening sequence as Carter White was in the vicinity and he was running on to the loose ball. It pops free now, played in by Barry, high in the air. White heads it back. Cerna gets to it for Glenn Shields, picked up now by Neld. Gorjavovsky, he can't see it through to a teammate. It's brought down. He has a second attempt, but Lord Kipanidze plays it out for Glenn Shields. And quickly, Andrews has it now for Pickering. Stepping up from the back line and taking possession. It's dished off for Andrews. Nice run here by Pickering as Parvez, his cross into the penalty area, dealt with by the defensive touch by Khaled Bari and then scooped up by the keeper Penna. Still looking for the breakthrough as Penna's drop kick got a little too much English on that, but it's off a Pickering player and out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. Ruho Ali takes the throw as it bounces and then finds its way to the foot of Barry, who plays it forward for Pickering. It's immediately knocked back into their defensive half, and a bit of a clank on that aerial challenge, and this is going to be a caution here as drawing into the referee's notebook is Daniel Ramlakan of Pickering. The caution in the 27th minute, as I believe it was Hellman who took the worst of that exchange, the Glenn Shields player. Yeah, it was Hellman, so he's able to shake off that knock. And now Glenn Shields Juventus FC will have a free kick opportunity. Right now, a three-man wall sets up to defend this kick. It's fairly far out for a direct attempt on target, but with 6 players lined up across the edge of the penalty area. Certainly a play for a cross in on the free kick as DiGiornamo stands over top the ball. Right-footed chip in, flicked on, and unable to get a clean touch to it was Hellman. He was all alone lurking in the right area, but mistimed the attempt, and it's out for a goal kick. Taken quickly and short as Toner takes control. Touches out wide. Into the middle now for Andrews. He turns and looks up the pitch. Andrews dribbles around a couple of would-be tacklers, and then the ball stripped away. Hellman makes the pass over to Suey. Suey chops that one into the middle. Love it. There's a volley attempt, but despite all the flash, the finish lacking on the wild strike by Lord Kipanidze, and that's out for a goal kick. Approaching the 30th minute of play here in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. As Pickering take the goal kick. Ricochets over to White as he tries to step around a defender, but loses it, and now Hellman playing it on, but only as far as Barry. Barry volleys that ahead, defensively stopped by Ruholahi as control now by DiGiornamo, works his way to the touchline, and that's out for a Pickering throw-in. Pace of the match just slowing a little bit in the last few moments as the teams try and break through for something to make an impact. It's a tightly contested match as the teams battle for possession, and that's out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. Last game the touch to it was Ramlaken, as now Glenn Shields play it back. Groff, he's got time and space. He makes the pass forward for Calipari, but he never could quite catch it, and it's out for a Pickering throw-in. Nailed. Gorjabovsky, his pass attempt partially blocked, but he quickly heads it on now on the second effort after Ramlakan played it to him. Barry heads that, but stepping up for Glenn Shields is Rohulahi as he plays a good serviceable ball forward, and then the impending cross that came for Hellman. He's able to touch that on. Lord Kipanidze gets around the first defender, but then crashing back was Georgievsky, and he did well to play that out for nothing more than a Glenn Shields throw-in. It was good pressure there that came quickly on the counterattack from Glenn Shields. And now we'll get a substitution coming here for Glenn Shields Juventus FC as Stephen Hellman comes out of the match for the time being. And Mario Bozic will replace him. Played in from the throw. Bozic on the ball, drops it back. Pham crosses that one, looking for Suey, but he couldn't quite get the header to it. And now it's picked up by Andrews for Pickering. Nice job to step around the first challenge. Plays it off as Parvez lays it to Barry. Quick 1-2. Barry works his way up the touchline, but DiGiornamo there for the interception. And now we get a free kick for Glenn Shields. The Canadian Premier League, on behalf of its Ontario-based member clubs Forge FC, York United FC, and Atletico Ottawa, are now premier partners of Ontario Soccer and co-presenting partners of the Talented Pathway. For updates and more information, please go to canpl.ca. Ball played to the top of the penalty area, but headed away there by Kovacsy defensively, and now Gorjevsky has it away for Pickering. He plays the ball ahead as White picks it up. He touches that out wide for Parvez to run onto, but he's closed down by the defender, and Rohulahi plays it out for the throw-in. Ramlakan offside there as Gorjevsky lost his bearings and was strides ahead of the last defender. Played back to the keeper Penna, who quickly returns it to the defender, and now Rohulahi works the far flank as he plays a great ball forward, and Glenn Shields looking to mount something along the far flank as Sui runs into the defensive wall of Barry, and that's knocked out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. Jaden Sui having a nice impact in this match since coming off the bench for Glenn Shields. Ruholai gets set to take the throw here for Glenn Shields. Tosses it as Lord Kipanidze tried to deke through it and then pick it up, but never could track back onto it and easily secured by Panu. Panu tries to urge his troops up the pitch. As now he plays a good drop kick ahead. White tried to head that on, but it was contested. Now Carter White pokes it back for Pickering. Andrews picks out White with the pass. He tries to advance it forward. Plays it ahead as Dahl Andrews trying to run onto it. He takes the shot attempt and closed down at the last second by Groth. As John Dahl Andrews nearly striking on target inside the 18, but instead defended out for a corner kick. Barry gets set to take the corner, setting up for an outswinger as we approach the 35th minute of action. 6 Pickering players inside the penalty area. Here comes the cross. Quality ball over top the pack. Dahl Andrews comes back with it, lays it off to Neld. Checks his options, tries to loop it back to Dahl Andrews, but that's headed clear only as far as Neld. As now he lays it off once again to Dahl Andrews. He tries to take on a couple of defenders, but Khaled Bari did well to clear the initial danger, and then it's knocked out of play. It'll be a Pickering throw-in, and now a chance for Pickering FC to make a substitution here as we approach the final 10 minutes of match play in the opening half. Dante Cabral gets set to come into play as Carter White will take a seat for the time being. White walking off a little gingerly, hopefully nothing serious there. Ball pokes loose and picked up here by Pickering's Ramlakan. As now it's played forward and secured by Lord Kipanidze for Glenn Shields. He runs onto it, looks for an option, draws wide as the cross comes in immediately off the foot of Sui. But that time the cross lacking substance and Pickering there defensively. Barry, his clearance blocked, but no threat after Bozic had it out for a goal kick. Anu takes the goal kick short. As Pickering tried to play it forward. Dahl Andrews. That one knocked loose. Gorjavovsky spins off the initial tackle, and Cerna now steps up to try hold possession for Glenn Shields, but that's ricocheted away and controlled once again by the midfield for Pickering. He goes backwards. Kovacsy switches over to Toner. His ball played ahead as coming onto it there for his first touch of the match was Cabral, but the speedy forward unable to keep possession. Cabral tries to close down the ball carrier, but the pass completed by Calabari onto the foot of Cerna. They now switch to the far flank as Glenn Shields working their way inside the penalty area, but Bozic unable to beat the defender in Barry, and that's knocked out for a throw-in. Excellent defending by Mikhail Barry for Pickering. He's been impressive throughout the opening 38 minutes of this match. Ruholahi gets set to take the throw, plays in for Bozic, tries to return it to the defender, but an offside called against Glenn Shields and a free kick to come here for Pickering. Free kick taken, headed on by the striker up front in Cabral. They try return it to the Pickering forward, but initially knocked away. Now he challenges there against the Glen Shields captain, DiGiornamo. DiGiornamo gets whistled for the infringement, and now a free kick to come for Pickering FC. So nice work by Dante Cabral to get back in a position where he could challenge for possession, and he earned himself a free kick. Barry stands over top the ball, getting set to take the free kick. Pickering putting about 7 white jerseys in and around the penalty area. The cross comes in off of Bozic. It ricochets around. Fam plays it. Rohulia can't quite clear it away. Ruhali, excuse me, as his attempt was blocked, and now Pickering start to control it with Andrews. Toner sends it forward for Parvez, but out of his range, it's out for a Glen Shields throw-in. And an opportunity for us to remind you that Ontario soccer values fair play, and we share this common passion with our partners from Respect in Sport, the leading e-leading platform for the prevention of bullying, abuse, harassment, and discrimination. Learn more about their programs and start your Respect education journey today at respectgroupinc.com. End-to-end action here in the under 16 boys district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Ultimately, both teams, neither one able to generate a quality threat, but possession into the attacking third for first Pickering and then Glen Shields. And there's a long shot attempt by DiGiornamo, but ultimately never threatening the target with that attempt as it's out for a goal kick. We'll get a substitution here as Glen Shields Juventus FC will bring Stephen Hellman back into the match. As coming out is Daniel Lord Kipanidze. Panu plays it short. Neld. Picked up by Kovacsy. Toner. He clears that ball across the half where it's secured by Parvez. Trying to pick out Cabral, but that's initially cleared away. DiGiornamo with Parvez on his back, and DiGiornamo falls to the ground and earns a free kick for Glen Shields. Looking for an option up the pitch from the free kick. They opt to slow it down just a little bit, although they do still intend to play it long towards the penalty area. There's the right-footed cross in, headed away by the defensive knock of Kovacsy. Only as far as Fam, who steps around the tackle from Andrews, completes the ball over to Bozic. He tries to draw a shot from his right foot, but couldn't quite get it off cleanly. And now it's back to DiGiornamo, whose attempt was into the midsection of Parvez before Pickering now come away with it, led by Barry. Cabral tracked away from the ball, and that gave Travato the jump to pick it up. And now Travato plays it over to Cerna. He gets closed down by Dahl Andrews, and Dahl Andrews off to the races now for Pickering as his ball through the legs of Cabral, but it'll be secured by the back line for Glen Shields as they work it forward now for DiGiornamo. He tries to send a ball up the flank for a player to run onto, but Bozic can't track it before it's out of bounds. And Pickering will get the throw in. Just beautiful right here tonight. The sun setting, just a bright orange, beautiful sunset. It's that magic hour that they speak. Maybe a little bit past it at this point, mind you, but just optimal conditions for tonight's matches. All 4 matches today played under pristine conditions. We can only hope for the same tomorrow, as the dreaded wet stuff in the forecast shouldn't be much, but hopefully it turns out to be nothing at all. As Pickering move it to Andrews, he clears it up only as far as Cerna. It actually ricochets off of Cerna to Dahl Andrews, and now Pickering can continue to march forward as they try cut their way back inside. As there's a good pass for Dahl Cerna, receiving it from Parvez. Dahl Cerna taking on the defender, and that's knocked out for a Pickering throw-in. 43rd minute of action, rolling into 44 as Pickering will make a change here. It'll be Malcolm Wyan coming into the match, and he'll replace Cabral up front. So a short stint there for Dante Cabral, as he did make a bit of an impact, but ultimately never truly set up for an attacking opportunity. And now Pickering with possession from the throw, and they play it back for Barry. They'll actually send Dahl Andrews up to the striking position that Cabral had, and Wyan takes up a more attacking midfielding role. As we approach the halftime whistle, we're scoreless here in the boys under 16 final, district final, of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. Throw in to come here for Glen Shields Juventus FC. But first they'll make a substitution as Lord Kipanidze gets set to come back into play. And it looks like they'll pull Cerna out for a bit of a respite. So Sebastian Cerna comes out of the match, and Lord Kipanidze takes his place as he'll shift to a attacking wing position for Glen Shields Juventus FC. It's off of a Pickering player, and Glen Shields will get another throw in here as we approach the halftime whistle, and that sun that was peaked up just so nicely moments ago is almost completely covered up now. And the lights, the bright lights here at the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium field start to illuminate the pitch as there is the halftime whistle. And we'll head to the break, knotted at zeros, as you're tuned in to the under 16 boys district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Folks, stay tuned. Second half action coming up next.
It begins with a ball. 2 teams, 2 nets, that ball, and a love of everything between the lines. But the game is more. The game is you giving every last breath to finish the sprint. The game is that last ounce of strength that pours out of you as you stretch to save your team. The game is questioning yourself over and over again until you find a way forward. Your personal best today is your challenge for tomorrow. Giving everything now is only knowing how much further you can go. The laces we tighten are the ones that bind us together. Entering the huddle as a player and leaving as a team. Play because you love it. Inspire because it's in you. Unite because it's in us. Ontario Soccer.
What will tomorrow look like? Will it be what you expected? Or something you never could have predicted? Will it be frightening? Or exciting? Is it the reason you can't sleep at night? Or the reason you get up in the morning? Tomorrow will be all of these things. With Hub, you have a partner today who supports you as you write your tomorrow. And we will protect you when you get there. Because the truth is, tomorrow is a gift. And we want you to be ready for it.
I'm Lizzie and I'm 11 years old. I play for MilkUP FC and I'm an attacking midfielder. My favorite thing about soccer is learning new tricks and trying them on the field. Today I'm going to be showing you the SRP move. Let's go. Step 1 is to cross the ball over with your weak foot. Number 2, step over the ball with your dominant foot. Step 3 is to pull the ball back with your weak foot. Step 4 is to chop the ball behind your weak foot with your dominant foot. And finally, explode with the ball down the field. Now that you know all the steps, try the SRP move for yourself. My proudest soccer moment was when I made the MilkUP OPDL team. If you're trying to learn new tricks, be creative and don't give up.
Hi, my name is Fatlim and I'm 20 years old. I play five-a-side soccer for North Mississauga Soccer Club and I'm a forward. Today I'm going to teach you speed, dribble and change direction trick. Step 1, dribble the ball forward. Step 2, place the inside of the foot and outside of the ball. Step 3, turn your body towards the direction that you're going. Step 4, continue to dribble. My proudest moment is when we won the gold medal in Paris Sports with North Mississauga Soccer Club. My favorite thing about playing soccer is that I feel myself when I'm in the field. My advice to the players that want to learn cool tricks is keep trying, don't give up.
Hey, I'm Melissa and I'm 13 years old. I play for UMSC and I'm a striker. Today I'm going to teach you how to do the Neymar dance. Step 1, use your weak foot to step over the ball. Step 2, use your other foot to tap the ball. Step 3, use your strong foot to step over the ball. And finally, step 4, use the outside of your foot to push the ball past the defender. I learned this trick by watching Neymar on YouTube. My favorite thing about playing soccer is meeting new people and making friends. My best advice would be look up a trick you like and just practice over and over and over.
Hey, my name is Sam. I'm 15 years old. I play for Vaughan Soccer Club and I'm a winger. Today we're going to learn the soul roll flick. I first saw Neymar do it on YouTube and I knew I had to learn it myself. Step 1, you're going to step to the opposite side. Step 2, you're going to roll the ball to your back foot. Step 3, you're going to flick the ball with the inside of your foot. Step 4, turn your body towards the ball to continue doing keep-ups. My advice for other players is just to watch the players on YouTube and learn the tricks yourself. My proudest soccer moment has been playing for Team Ontario and hearing my name on the commentary. My favorite thing about playing soccer is playing with my friends and learning new things with my coach.
What's up? I'm Letta, I'm Vita, and we're 17. We play striker and winger for MilkUP Soccer Club, and this is our trick. Today, we're going to teach you how to do a heel flick up, and you can learn it in just 5 steps. Let's go. Step 1, roll the ball back to your opposite foot. Step 2, flick the ball up with your opposite foot about hip height. Step 3, combine steps 1 and 2 in a fluid and continuous motion. Step 4, turn your body in the opposite direction of your dominant foot. Step 5, use your dominant heel to flick the ball up over your head. We hope you enjoyed our step-by-step. Now it's your turn to give it a try. My favorite thing about playing soccer is just the creativity I can have, the ability to express myself and who I am. Nothing feels better than putting in the work and then applying it on the field. My proudest soccer moment is definitely winning the Charity Shield last year with MilkUP. What an amazing experience. If you want to learn a cool trick, just remember, practice makes perfect. And remember to have fun with it. That's the key.
Hi, I'm Joshua. I'm 14 years old. I play for Woodbridge Strikers and I'm a center mid. My favorite thing about playing soccer is playing with a team and in a team environment. Today, I'm going to teach you 3 easy steps to do around the world. Step 1, juggle the ball to get prepared for the trick. Use the outside of your foot to pop the ball up, then bring your leg around it. Lastly, regain control of the ball and continue to dribble. Now you know the steps, now it's your turn to go around the world.
the boys final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. And Ontario Soccer is pleased to welcome SportCheck, Canada's largest sports retailer, as its official sporting goods retail partner. Both partners share the goal of inspiring Ontarians to live healthy, active lifestyles by making sport and activity more fun, approachable, and inclusive. With a vast assortment of apparel and equipment and the very best athletic brands in the world, SportCheck strives to help athletes and enthusiasts of all levels succeed. Find what moves you at sportcheck.ca. Let's kick off second half action underway with Glen Shields Juventus FC kicking us off in a scoreless draw right now against Pickering FC in the boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Pickering holding possession here from the throw-in as pressing for a potential turnover was Hellman, but he was never able to come up with it, and now it's controlled. As Pickering work their way up the near touchline, Barry on the ball, but he can't quite keep it in touch. And it's out for a throw-in. 2 matches on the schedule for tomorrow to wrap up the action here at the 2022 MilkUP Ontario Cup Finals. It's been 2 phenomenal weekends of this Soccer for Life competition as we work our way down to the final matches. Dahl Andrews, he got tripped up, but nothing doing, is now Lord Kipanidze running onto it for Glen Shields, but before he can get there, it's played out for the throw-in. Glen Shields play the ball towards the corner, but Lord Kipanidze was offside, so that puts an end to the chance. And it'll be Pickering getting it going with the free kick. Early stages of the second half here. Boys under 16 district final. MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. It's a scoreless draw right now, but here go Glen Shields on the attack as Bozic runs on to the loose ball. Bozic crosses towards the penalty area, knocked back towards the keeper on the defensive touch by Ramlakan, and well, Glen Shields Juventus unable to take advantage of that ball played towards the top of the penalty area. Hard sliding tackle by Pham, but he does well to win the ball. And a throw-in for his team, headed loose. As they touch it into Pham through the middle, as now he draws back. DiGiornamo takes the pass and starts to work his way forward as he lays it off for Bozic. His cross, controlled by Hellman. Volley attempt gets blocked. He continues to press forward. DiGiornamo there as well. Bozic got a touch to it, but now it's picked up by Pickering. As that clearance attempt goes off of DiGiornamo and out for a Pickering throw-in. Parvez opts to leave the ball there, and it'll be Barry who resets the play with the throw-in. From the throw, it goes off a Glen Shields player in Bozic and out for another throw-in. Tight challenge there with Parvez on the ball for Pickering. Check those. Georgowski on the ball. As now they play it back to the center back in Kovacsy, who switches out to the far flank. Picked off and then hammered up the field where the keeper will come right to the edge of his penalty area to collect that, and secured by Panu for Pickering. Drop kicked out with the left foot, controlled by Andrews. He turns and looks for an option up the line in Dahl Andrews, and he does have it. Returns the pass over to Andrews, as that's Keelan Andrews for Pickering. Keelan Andrews on it once again, but stripped away moments later by Pham, and now Glenn Shields looking to counter. There's a good ball. Hellman running onto it, coming out of his penalty area and knocking the danger away was the keeper, Yuvraj Panu, and that was a split-second decision by the Pickering keeper, and he made the right call to come out for the clearance. Hellman receiving it from the throw-in, trying to cross in, but that's off the defender, and it'll be another Glenn Shields throw. So the opening 5 minutes of the second half gone, and we still await the opening score in this match. As there's a cross in, DiGiornamo can't quite corral the bouncing ball. They're going to call it a handball against the Glenn Shields captain, and a free kick to come for Pickering. As I mentioned, 2 more matches to round out the MilkUP Ontario Cup finals. Those happen tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern and 4:30, with the girls under 14 final and then the girls under 16 district final. Panu, picked up by Dahl Andrews. He tries to make the play, but immediately closed down out for a Pickering throw-in. Pickering FC looking for movement off the ball, picked up by Andrews. He lays it backwards and unable to find some space was Nelt, but it's out for another Pickering throw. Kicked away by Glenn Shields. Barry steps up to take it for the home squad, Pickering, as he loops the ball forward for Parvez to run onto. He tracks it over to the touchline. Parvez takes a bit of a hack, but plays it forward. Unfortunately for Pickering, Wyand was offside, and that puts an end to any threat that they were starting to manufacture. So a free kick here for Glenn Shields Juventus FC as Andrew Groff takes it. DiGiornamo unable to head it on. Gorchevsky makes the pass ahead, but again, Wyand unable to come away with possession. And now it's secured by Groff. Glenn Shields working their way across half with Bozic. He touches forward for Trovato, as that ball intended for Hellman, but cleared away, and now Groff steps up to make the play defensively for Glenn Shields. Good control there. The pass intended for Hellman, but it's skidded under his foot, and he's just struggling to find the level they need from him up front today as the Glenn Shields Juventus FC striker. Just looking a little bit out of sorts, a little bit mistimed with some of his opportunities. They try build up again as Pickering work to defend. Pham in there for Glenn Shields, but Pickering come away with it, and now a good ball played on by Kovacsy before it's turned over, and here goes Lord Kapanzi ahead for Glenn Shields, but it's stripped loose only as far as Pham. He plays it to DiGiornamo. His shot attempt blocked, but it ricochets over to Bozic. Bozic lays it back as that cross played in by Ruholahi. Strong collision on the back of Lord Kipanidze, but nothing doing in the eyes of the match official, and play continues on here as it's hit up by Kalabari. Continues to press now for Glenn Shields, and he works his way out of that scrum. The ball cleared out by Pickering, challenged through the air by Groff. Pickering played to the near flank, but that's going to be out of the reach of Parvez. Out for a Glenn Shields throw-in, and they'll take this opportunity to make a couple substitutions. So, Giancarlo Magliotta comes into the match, and they'll also bring in James Stangieri as Stangieri takes the place of Lord Kipanidze through the midfield. 54th minute of action. There's a ball into the Pickering 18, and having to clear that away at the last second was Cole Neld, because coming in for pursuit was Stangieri. And had Neld not got in there, Stangieri would have had a chance to put that on goal as the keeper Panu came charging off his line. But a corner kick coming here now for Glenn Shields. As DiGiornamo gets set to take the corner kick opportunity, he sets up for an outswinger with 6 Glen Shields attackers on the edge of the 18. They break off. Here comes the cross. Touched on, still in play. Bouncing around. Volley attempt. It comes off the foot of Sui, but he couldn't get over top of it, and it sails out for a goal kick. Pickering will make a change of their own now as Luca Cimone gets set to come into the match, and he'll replace Farhad Parvez. Still a lot of time left in this match, but should we end tied, we'll go straight to penalty kicks. We'll see if either team can get the breakthrough here, as we are scoreless in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. That ball too heavy as it's controlled by the backline of Glen Shields, played back to their keeper Penna, who under pressure just had to knock that out for a throw-in. So let's see what Pickering can do here as Ramlakan gets set to take the throw. Tosses in, it's headed away by DiGiornamo. Pickering quickly retained possession. Actually, it was Pham there with the defensive header. Check that. As now Pickering in pursuit, running after it is Wyand. He chases the defender down in Trovato, and he just has to play that out for a Pickering throw. So getting set to take the throw, looking for movement off the ball and picking out a man in Ramlakan. Pickering still holding possession there along the line with Georgiovsky on the ball. Does well to evade a couple of defenders. Takes it down low to the goal line. Touches out for Cimone, but then his cross blocked. And now a chance for Sui to play a good ball up the line. And running onto it is Meliota. His first touches here in the match for Glen Shields. Crosses one in for Hellman. Left-footed attempt block. Second effort bounced out to Sui, but he couldn't get a clean shot. DiGiornamo crosses it in as they continue to buzz around the top of the 18. There's a shot from distance, and the keeper, Panu, making a big save to knock that out for a corner. As the shot from distance coming in from Glen Shields, I believe it was Stangieri who let it fly, and ultimately the save made by Panu as one of the better chances in this match generated by Glen Shields Juventus FC. Now they've got a corner kick as they prepare for the in-swinger. Ball played, but not of quality, and it's out for a goal kick. Wasted opportunity there as DiGiornamo couldn't quite deliver the cross he was looking for. So Pickering take the goal kick. It's touched on there by Cimone, but tracking back, Ruholahi picks it up for Glen Shields. Plays it to the line, but that gets out before Meliota can get to it, and Pickering now have themselves a throw-in in front of their own bench. Barry closed down. He makes the pass as a quick return to Barry, only to have it turned over. Good defensive header that time by Toner to get up and cleared away from the threat of Hellman. As Kovacsy plays it over to Toner, who then hammers it up the pitch. The keeper coming off his line, Penna, he'll collect that for Glen Shields Juventus FC as Juve roll it out, and now they look to build out through the back line as it's carried ahead by Groff. He makes the long pass toe-to-toe, and then they look for the overlap, but nothing doing that time. And now here goes Andrews in transition for Pickering. Andrews to Dahl Andrews on the wing, but that time it's intercepted. And now Glen Shields looking to counter as it's picked up by Stagieri. His cross looking for Hellman inside the 18, finds him. Left-footed attempt, but never really got himself in a position to fire something of quality, and that out for a goal kick. And that's the kind of struggle that Stephen Hellman has had today in this match. And they're going to take him out now. Again, remember, Hellman took a tough knock to the back of his head early in the match and maybe still feeling some ill effects. Hopefully nothing serious, but Cerna comes in to take his place. And for the time being, they'll shift DiGiornamo up into that central striker position. Pickering playing it out from the goal kick. Possession turned over as it's secured by Calipari. His ball intended for Stangieri, but that's intercepted, and Pickering have it through their back line. Cleared, but then turned over. Pham comes up with it, fakes the shot, tries to draw around the defender. Nothing doing, loose ball, as desperately Glenn Shields were trying to keep Pickering pinned in, but Pickering able to clear some of the pressure, and it's out for a Glenn Shields throw here in the 60th minute of action, and a chance for us to say thank you to Ontario's soccer partner, Soccer Express, for their first-class support. As Canada's premier soccer apparel and equipment dealer, Soccer Express has everything needed to take your game to the next level. Visit soccerx.com to check out the latest gear from Adidas, Nike, Puma, Admiral, and more. Pickering looking to spring a counterattack, but the pass from Barry picked off. And now Cerna has possession for Glenn Shields. Into the middle as the Juve crowd in attendance starting to get vocal, but that ball through the mid picked off. Cerna now comes up with it, switches out wide, aerial touch by Stangieri, as now he comes away with it and plays a good ball forward for Sui. He tries to cut that one in, but it's off the defender, and Glenn Shields Juventus FC have earned themselves a corner kick as we're into the 62nd minute of action in a scoreless draw right now in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. The temperature cooling down at field level. Beautiful evening here in Vaughan, Ontario, home of the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium field. Glenn Shields setting up for the in-swinger. The ball delivered. That's quality. That's troublesome. It bounces around, and the header from Cerna just goes wide. As the keeper, Panu, was caught a little bit out of position. May have had that far post covered, but Cerna's header sails out, and the goal kick now for Pickering. DiGiornamo trying to catch up to that ball, and he does so, keeping it in along the goal line, but then his pass intercepted. However, Pickering unable to hold possession as Chimone has it off of his feet and out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. Contesting the ball, and once again out for Glenn Shields. As Rohulahi tosses in. Pham steps up with the header. Andrews hammers it away with the volley. And now it's touched on by Trovato. He's under pressure, so he just knocks that out for a throw-in. Georgievsky, his ball intercepted. Quickly, Glenn Shields looked to turn it up there with Meliota, but that touch off the mark, and it'll be a throw into Pickering. Little separating these two teams, a very tightly contested match. Both teams still looking for that initial breakthrough as we're scoreless in the 64th minute. And again, if tied after 90, we'll go straight to penalties. Andrews tries to come up with it for Pickering. Ball pinballs around, and now it's secured by Trovato. Trovato, as he switches that to the far flank. And on the opposite side, it's out for a Pickering throw. Good crowd on hand here tonight for this boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup. We've had good crowds all day long. It's been a beautiful day to take in the action here at the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium field. Glenn Shields have possession with Calipari on it. Again, can't quite hold it in along the line. Pickering looking for a quick throw. Dahl Andrews comes away with it. He tries to tee up a shot, but that gets blocked by Groff. And then the clearance, and this could be a counterattack now as MilkUP runs onto it for Glenn Shields. Excellent time slide tackle as Toner comes in and knocks it loose. MilkUP can't get around Barry. It's out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. Well, that was tremendous defensive discipline there by Jake Toner to slide in, complete the tackle, not commit a foul. Just brilliant defending. As Glenn Shields will bring Lord Kipanidze back into the match. And they'll proceed with the throw-in in the attacking third. The cross knocked away by Toner as they shielded and out for another Juve throw-in. Controlled from the throw by Lord Kepanidze. The cross comes in. The keeper, Panu, off his line. And after the initial bobble, darts down, collecting it safely and calmly for Pickering. Dahl Andrews tries to play on from the keeper's drop kick, but it tracks out a touch, and it'll be a throw-in for Juve. They take it quickly. Pickering try get it back, but Glenn Shields secure it with Fan. 66 minute of action. As Pickering clear that ball up the field, Barry getting his foot to it, and the Glenn Shields Juventus FC keeper Ruben Penna comes off his line to collect. Penna looking for options, runs right to the top of the penalty area, and then puts a good, strong left-footed boot through the ball as Bozic controls it and plays it forward. Check that. It was actually Stangieri who plays it forward. Controlled by Glenn Shields along the touchline. They try work it there with Sui, but he can't get around the defender. Lord Kipanidze there for the challenge, but it's off of him, out for a goal kick. Pickering gets set to make a change, bringing the attacking threat in Carter White back onto the field. And coming out is Malcolm Wyand. So White takes up the striker position up front for Pickering. And they'll restart play here with the goal kick. As it's booted on by the foot of Barry, White tries to spin off the defender, advances the ball, and now they work it out wide for Dahl Andrews. Dahl Andrews tries to return the service to White, but that's blocked away by the defensive boot. And now this could be a counterattack for Glenn Shields. As Lord Kipanidze on it, appeals for a handball, but nothing doing. Draws the right-footed cross to the far post, but Panu comes off his line to collect before MilkUP could pose a threat for Glenn Shields. So the play starting to open up a little bit here in the later stages of this match as we approach the final 20 minutes of match play. And now both teams seemingly opening up some chances. And now Pickering start to pursue. There's a cross to the top of the area as that ball was played in by Keelan Andrews, but defended well. And now Glenn Shields looking to spring Lord Kipanidze up the far flank, but he's met by that defensive block. And then a free kick awarded here for Pickering. They thought they had advantage, but it's pulled back after the impressive play by Kovacs. Kovacs takes the free kick. Dahl Andrews takes it down, but it gets away from him. Quickly Pickering try pick it back up as Ramlakan there. He plays a ball forward as Dahl Andrews runs onto it. He does incredibly to hold that in along the touchline, but then commits a foul in dragging back the defender in Khaled Bari, and it'll be a free kick for Glenn Shields Juventus FC. Sports Engine is the official technology partner of Ontario Soccer and the leading provider of sport relationship management software for youth and amateur sport. Check out sportsengine.com/solutions to see how they can help keep your club running in stride on and off the pitch this season. Pickering try play a long ball ahead intended for White, but that's going to be shielded right to the goal line, and White gets a little bit of a touch onto the back of Groff, who tries to sell it. Nothing doing. And we'll resume here with a goal kick. Penna plays it short. White providing the forechecking pressure, but Glenn Shields able to dribble through the challenge as Trovato lays that one off for Femme. And now it's touched out to the far flank as they try work the space in front of them, carrying the ball forward, and now supplying a good service for Sui to run onto as his attempt gets blocked. A hard tackle. Sui in an offside position, and I believe that'll do it for the attack. Glenn Shields thought they had won a free kick on the challenge against James Stangieri, but Sui coming back from the offside position, and it's a free kick for Pickering. 71st minute of play. We're inside the final 20 minutes here at the boys under 16 district final in the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. We're scoreless. We're still looking for the breakthrough here as we pose the possibility of penalties presenting themselves for the first time here today. We'll see if either team can find the breakthrough. As Trovato runs that back defensively and dishes off for Groff. He looks up the pitch for an option, delivers a good ball, running onto it, but that one too far out of the range of Meliota as Panu coming off his line to collect for Pickering. Bowls it out for Andrews. Heavy touch there as Stangieri comes up with it on the turnover, but then he has it dispossessed by Andrews. And that puts an end to any break for Glenn Shields. Cerna quickly puts them back on attack. Lord Kipanidze's first pass was blocked. He gets it back, lays it to Femme, who touches it out wide. There's a ball played into the penalty area, but no one in blue running onto it. And it'll be scooped up by the Pickering keeper, Panu. He'll march it to the top of his area and then drop kick it out as Dahl Andrews had it go off his chest, and in doing so, possession turned over. There's a shot attempt from distance off a defensive foot. Cerna crashing the keeper. Excellent goalkeeping that time by Yuvraj Panu as he dove out with his legs, caught the ball with his feet, and did well not to commit a foul, with Cerna controlling it tight to the goal line. The initial ball played in came from Stangieri for Glenn Shields, but now it's knocked out. And from the throw-in, they can't take advantage. Possession to Pickering, and Pickering will make a change here, bringing Brandon Rose into the match as he'll replace Sebastian Georgievsky, and Rose will take up that defensive position. Pickering toss in. Lord Kipanidze there trying to pick the ball free as Glen Shields Juventus FC gets set to bring on a trio of players, including Hellman, as he looks to make a positive impact up front. Meliota, he dropped it back, but that subsequent ball played by Sui too heavy. Looks like it'll track in, stay in play, and Pickering have to play it out from their defensive third as the ball delivered there to Dahl Andrews. He touches into the middle, and Ramlakan tries to hit Andrews, making the run up the far sideline. Defensively getting there, though, was Kalatbari, and now here go Glenn Shields in transition as a bit of a shoulder into the back, and no call coming. It looked like Groff was going to get the call, but now here go Pickering. Andrews, excellent sliding tackle there by Kalatbari. Players colliding to the turf as the intensity picking up here at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022 in the boys under 16 district final. 75th minute of action as we await the opening tally here in this match. Referee has a quick word with the assistant on the far side to go over the proceedings. There was clattering tackles, a bit of a mishmash affair at times in the last few moments of the sequence, but it looks like nothing more than stern warnings here. I don't think we're going to have any cautions issued. A Pickering player has now dropped down to the turf and is looking for treatment, and that's John Dahl Andrews. And we actually do have a caution coming out, and it's going to be issued to Joshua Trovato. Check that. It's 25, Andrew Groff, who gets the caution for Glen Shields Juventus FC. So Groff into the notebook in the 76th minute. And it'll be a free kick for Pickering as Dahl Andrews makes his way off the field for the time being, and hopefully nothing serious there for one of the top players for Pickering FC. As Dahl Andrews receiving a bit of treatment on the far side, and we'll see if he returns to action. We'll actually restart with a throw in here for Pickering. Pickering short one player right now, so they'll bring a man in off the bench in Parvez. And now we'll get set to restart the play here.
Yep, no problem.
Throw in coming as Toner plays it in. Controlled momentarily by Ramlakan. As they try to pick out the runner, that one towards the Glen Shields goal as it was cleared away by the defender and knocked out for a corner kick. Bit of a tense moment there, but ultimately Penna had it covered. And out for a corner. Chimona, the attacking presence on site for Pickering on that play. So Pickering set up for an in-swinger on this corner kick opportunity late in the scoreless match. Cross comes in, headed up, and then cleared away by Cerna, only to the top of the 18. Ramlaken can't step around the defender, and on the second effort, Cerna clears it up to the half. Rose hammers it back. White comes up with it for Pickering. He crashes into his man, Cerna, but now Glen Shields have it on the counter. Strangieri, his ball intended for Meliota too far, and now White comes back to play it for Pickering. Groff, he hammers that out. It'll be a throw-in for Pickering FC, 78th minute of play, as we track towards the final 10 minutes of this match. It's seeming more and more likely that we're heading to penalties here in the boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. Neither of these teams can find that knockout punch, that breakthrough tally, as there has been good build-up, but just a lack of clinical finish at times to see either squad through to the lead. Pickering will take possession here as Barry steps up, flicks that one over to Ramlakan. As they try hold possession, but it's turned over, and now Meliota tries to chip a ball forward for Stangieri to run onto, but that's cleared away. And finally, Glen Shields Juventus FC will get the trio of substitutes and the chance to make those changes. So, DiGiornimo gets set to come back into this match. DiGiornimo, excuse me, as it's also Bozic and Hellman into the game for Glen Shields Juventus FC with the trio coming out, and they restart with the throw-in. Bozic controlling it well and wins the throw-in again for Glen Shields. As they play this out under the bright lights here at the Ontario Soccer Centre Stadium field. Neither team finding the ultimate touch yet, as Hellman tries to work his way along the touchline. Nothing doing tight to the goal line. That cross blocked off by the Pickering defender. Headed clear, volleyed only as far as Pham. He tees up a left-footed strike from distance right on, but Panu crouches down and makes what may have been a challenging save for some look routine, as Panu pulls that one out. Glen Shields stepping up, sending Hellman on the run, but Panu again off his line, slides down and collects for Pickering. Panu has certainly been the busier of the two keepers throughout this match, as he hasn't had to make a ton of saves, but he's made a couple of clutch ones. As Cerna plays the ball forward, DiGeronimo's going to run onto it here. Michael DiGeronimo crosses in front. Hellman tries the volley. It's not clear. Pham comes up with it. Right-footed strike, but that one dipping wide, and it's out for a goal kick. Gorchevsky comes into the match for Pickering as he replaces Chimone. 82nd minute. Scoreless right now between Glen Shields Juventus FC in blue and Pickering FC in white, as you're tuned into the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. Good control here through the midfield by Pham as he tries to cross, and he successfully completes that pass over to DiGeronimo, who tried to tee one up from way out. Hellman tries to clap that, but that's knocked wide and cleared away from danger. Pham pulls it back as Rohu Ali gets the return pass, but he steps over it, and now Carter White takes it for Pickering. For Georgievsky, his initial attempt blocked, tried to get it back, but on the second effort, it's cleared up the line. Barry making a touch there for Pickering, as now White tries to feed it back to Barry, but that's closed down, and Pham takes it for Glen Shields. His ball only gets as far as Rose, as Rose's touch picked off by Groff, and now he's got advantage, so he'll play it forward to DiGeronimo. The captain for Glen Shields Juventus FC tried to cross that one into the penalty area. Cleared away as DiGeronimo taking on two defenders, but Rose gets the better of him, clears it only as far as Pham, who slides down to make the tackle, but then loses it to Andrews, as now it's played back. Controlled by Kalatbari, as he gets pressed. Kalatbari dishing it off. Bozic tries to cross in. Hellman had it for a moment, but then it's knocked loose. Pham gets around the first challenge, lays it over to DiGeronimo. His shot attempt easily blocked, and now White in possession for Pickering. 84th minute. That ball knocked out of touch, and a chance for us to remind you that soon another deserving team will engrave their name into Ontario Cup history and receive their medals and hoist the beautiful Ontario Cup trophy created by Nothers, the award store. For more than 50 years, Nothers, the award store, has been a leading supplier of awards and recognition products across Ontario, offering complete assistance from program concept planning all the way to product delivery. Here's a chance. Hellman tees up the shot. It's off the defender, out for a corner. See how they can help your organization at Nothers.com. So a good opportunity there for Glen Shields Juventus FC, generated by Stephen Hellman, but again, the striker just lacking that ultimate touch here today. to find his way through and put his team in front. But they will have a corner kick opportunity here in the 85th minute of action. Scoreless draw right now, as Glen Shields Juventus FC and Pickering FC both prepare to make substitutions at the next opportunity. Setting up for the in-swinger. Here comes the corner, delivered to the near post, headed away by the defender, but right back to the kick taker, Di Geronimo, as he plays it in again. And for the second consecutive time, Pickering cleared away. Khaled Bari, he tries to feed one to the far post, and Panu had to play that carefully. The Pickering keeper dove down, made the save. The ball had a couple opportunities to be redirected, and that's why a bit of a delayed dive there from Panu. And ultimately, despite making the save, all he could do was knock it out for the corner. The Glen Shields Juventus FC supporters getting loud on the opposite side as they set up for a corner kick. And it looks like Cerna will take the in-swinger. Delivers a quality ball into the area. Clattering for it. Neither team can come up with it. Fanning on the volley attempt was Di Geronimo, as now he tries to win it back. He hooks it loose. Cerna receiving the pass. Crosses as it's headed away by Pickering and now secured by Carter White. As White takes it forward, but only as far as Rohu Ali, who quickly hammers it back in the attacking side of half for Glen Shields. Khaled Bari, he crosses. There's Di Geronimo. High volley right on target. Oh, Panu nearly made a meal of that catch. He had pressure on him there from Bozic, as Panu had to be careful making that save on the high volley coming in from Di Geronimo. Long ball. Panu comes to the edge of his area to collect that. Calmly and confidently this time in the 87th minute, and the possibility of penalties growing ever more so second by second here in the boys under 16 district final. Can Glen Shields find a breakthrough? They are pressing here. Give them credit. No quit in their play as Sui tries to work his way out of the crowd, and now Glen Shields will make a trio of substitutions. And the coaches have to think about penalty kick takers at this time. Stangeri comes into the match. Meliota comes in. And Lord Kipanidze will come in as well, with Ruholai coming out. Di Geronimo didn't quite catch the third player. Pickering making a change as well. Good to see John Dahl Andrews coming back into the game for Pickering after picking up the knock earlier. That cross cleared away, and then Andrews able to knock that clear danger as it was Carter White substituted out for Pickering. There's a good cross in. Cerna gets a touch to it. Still loose. Headed on. It's in. Oh, what a goal. Mario Bozic heads it clear. And in the 88th minute, Glen Shields Juventus FC have pushed in front 1-0 in the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. It was looking like a broken down play, but Bozic came flying in along the far wing, picked up the loose ball and hit it home with his head. And now I'm not sure what's going on here with Glen Shields Juventus FC. They had a number of players run off the bench onto the field. So there's going to be a number of cards having to be doled out here to the bench for Juventus, as literally 3 Glen Shields players coming off the bench to celebrate. And their coach, Diorio, knows there's nothing to defend there, as the 3 players all into the book. Pickering will make a substitution. But in the 88th minute of action, Mario Bozic puts Glen Shields Juventus FC in front 1-0 here at the boys under 16 district final of the MilkUP Ontario Cup. Well, we were saying the possibility of penalties seemed ever more certain. And then Bozic knocks it in on the header to give Glenn Shields the lead. Just wild stuff. Let's see how Pickering respond. As Lord Kipinidze tries to keep it in, but it tracks out and it'll be a Pickering throw in as Rose flicked on that time. And now Dahl Andrews comes up with it, but it's again knocked out. Throw into Pickering.
Blue Shields goal was scored by number 10, Daniel Lirikabanzi.
We're going to give the goal to Lord Kipinidze, but I don't know about that one. It looked pretty clear from where we were. As it's brought in by Pickering, they tried cross it goal bound, and now tracking back is Seth Yendrin as he tries to cross back in. Taken down by the defender. This is tightly contested, the two going at it, and that's knocked out. A corner kick awarded to Pickering. They'll push everybody forward as we're into the 90th minute of play. It was very clearly Bozic who got the goal for Glenn Shields, especially in the celebration. There's the cross in from Pickering. Penna has to punch that clear. Oh, that was dipping towards the back corner of the net. And the keeper, Ruben Penna, punches it clear. So we'll have a minimum of 4 added minutes here as Pickering set up for another in-swinger from the corner. Ball delivered top of the penalty area. Headed back goal side. Cerna with a partial clearance. Headed on, and Penna comes off his line to scoop that up. Making the save and trying to take some time off the clock here in favor of Glenn Shields Juventus FC. Hellman, he heads it on. Pickering play it back to the keeper. Panu plays it out. Groff stepping up, advancing it forward. Cerna trying to push off the defender, plays the ball deep towards the goal line as Rose is going to have to track back to play this. The Glenn Shields Juventus FC fans are chanting in the stands. They know their squad is minutes away from winning the MilkUP Ontario Cup final in the boys under 16 district final. As Hellman tries a shot from a sharp angle, nothing doing, but it'll be picked up by Lord Kipinidze. He tries to drop that one back as it's secured by Cerna. Taken away by Pickering, only as far as Meliota. Cerna has it tipped away from him by his teammate Pham. And now it's controlled by Andrews through the midfield. This could be a counter. Barry looked like he may have been offside, which was why there was the hesitation. Now Barry checks back onside as he tries to cross into the far penalty area where it's brought down by a handball. And that puts an end to the attack as Cole Neld had pushed up for Pickering, but clearly off his hand. And now Lord Kipinidze drops to the turf. He'll want to change here, as they'll bring on Sui to replace Lord Kipinidze. And Glen Shields Juventus FC work their way to the final whistle here. They have the lead 1-0 against Pickering FC. Lord Kipinidze, a little bit of grit shown there as he walks off under his own power, and a player on the far side as well for Glen Shields trying to work out a cramp, as it's the goal scorer Bozic on the far side. And a substitution will happen for the injury in Lord Kipinidze as DiGeronimo comes back into the match. So we'll restart play here, as I believe we'll get a drop ball to get the action back underway, and Glen Shields Juventus FC leading 1-0. Bit of confusion here as to what's happening. It should be a free kick for Glen Shields. It was a handball called, which stopped the play, and now we proceed with the correct restart as Groff plays it out from the free kick. Hits Hellman in the back of the head, but that works out to their advantage as Bozic plays it ahead. Bozic with a good pass. There's a cross into the area just behind the leg of Hellman is stretching out to supply it was Denaluzzi, as now it's controlled by Hellman. Check that. On the ball was Sui. Knocked out for a Glenn Shields throw-in. There can't be too much time remaining in the 4 minutes added. Glenn Shields will look for a substitution when they get a chance, and with this being their own throw-in, they may end up doing so right now. As Cerna prepares to come out of the match, and Lord Kipanidze will come back in. So obviously nothing too serious there for the injury to Lord Kipanidze. Good to see. Maliotta. Challenge for the ball as Pickering come away with it. Barry running onto it, but he's closed down immediately as there for the stop was Trovato, and it's cleared out for a Pickering throw-in. Well, this has been a back and forth game. Both teams were hungry for a breakthrough, and in the 88th minute, it was supplied on a header by Mario Bozic, and Glenn Shields Juventus FC are trying to shield this 1-0 lead down to the final whistle as Hellman in hot pursuit. Pickering have got to show more urgency than what they're currently giving, and that does it. Time runs out, and Glenn Shields Juventus FC are your champions in the boys under 16 district final at the MilkUP Ontario Cup 2022. A goal at the 88th minute by Mario Bozic sees the championship through for Glenn Shields. They win another title here this weekend at the MilkUP Ontario Cup. And this time it's in the boys under 16 district division. Well, a big thank you again to our proud partners for today's event. Special recognition goes to our premier partners from Dairy Farmers of Ontario who are presenting the MilkUP Ontario Cup. Dairy Farmers of Ontario proudly support youth soccer while driving awareness of the benefits of milk in a healthy and active lifestyle to help young athletes realize their untapped potential. We also extend our gratitude to our broadcast partners, Hub International Insurance Brokers, our premier partners, Toronto FC and the CPL, our community partners, Sport Check, as well as Respect in Sport, Soccer X, Sports Engine, and Nothers, the awards sort. Folks, for our final time today, thank you for tuning in. We are back tomorrow with 2 games starting at 2 p.m. Eastern. But for all of our crew behind the scenes, my name's Nico saying goodnight, and we will catch you tomorrow from the MilkUP Ontario Cup.